Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Fiendish Friday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. Today I give you a brief synopsis, your starring cast, your director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for a trailer, a link for where you can watch this bad boy for free, and if you decide, there's also a link for if you want, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks. Now, with all that said in mind and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a very interesting one. It's very good. It is my second film I have got to review from director Jim Cannatelli. I actually like this one more than the first, which was X-Night, Escape from Warp Hell, which was very, very good. But this one is Yester Years, and I absolutely adored this film. I think it is very well made. The effects are very well done. The story is just absolutely just a good story all the way around. And like I said, this came out, and this one is was released just last year in 2023. It's called Yester Years, like I said before, directed by Jim Cannatelli, and it runs at about 59 to 60 minutes. The Tubi link runs at 59 minutes. Now you ask yourself, what is this movie about? Well, it's about a younger gal who is struggling with life. She's in a relationship with a guy named Troy. Troy is head over heels in love with her, and he is trying everything he can to prove his worth to her. Now, they are down and out on their luck. They're a month behind on rent. The electricity's been turned off. They both have no money. They work not boring, but bad 9-to-5 jobs, like such as one is she's a waitress and he's a pizza delivery guy. So they work terrible jobs, and they have a band that they're both together in on the side. Now, one day that we're going along, and our main girl decides she wants things to change. She goes and stops off and has a small conversation with her mother, who I recognize from, I believe she was in Center City 2, if memory serves me correctly, the August Aguilar film, which is absolutely mwah. But she goes and visits the mom. They have a little conversation about changing the past and things like that. She goes home, and she eventually wakes up the next day. Or she goes home and she boozes it up a little bit, I should say. She wakes up the next day with a headache. Takes some aspirin. Eventually, she passes out. She wakes up, and she is in her old, I'm guessing sorority or dorm house, or is what it is. It's her old room, and she finds herself there. It is now her past. She is desperately clinging on to a relationship with a man named Boyd, and she goes to meet Boyd, and Boyd is a aspiring up and coming filmmaker who is working on a documentary. in the present time. But now in this past time, she meets him again, and she wants to go with him to L.A. or Los Angeles, as they say, to better her future. They have a tender embrace, and they have a small kiss. Troy happens to be there and witnesses it. Sets things off. Boyd quickly responds with, "Hey, I don't want to be the other guy, and I definitely do not want to be a rebound. Sorry for your luck, I'm outie." So he leaves, gives Troy a pat on the shoulder, and tells him he's sorry. Troy and I believe Carol is her name, or no, Cynthia, Cynthia. Carol and Cynthia have a quick discussion, and things go horribly awry, and they break up there. It's really sad ordeal. Her next time she passes out and wakes up, she is in Civil War days, and she finds herself in a really tough predicament of what to do. She finds a wounded slave, and what do you do? She helps him get to Harriet Tubman, who Harriet Tubman is followed with a Union soldier, by the way, and both her and the Union soldier do not believe Cynthia is trying to help this young man. They think she is a Confederate turncoat that is has ditched her Confederate clothing and is adorned with different clothing to throw them off the scent, essentially. Eventually, she's able to come to the Harriet comes to the conclusion that she's actually really trying to help this kid. The kid unfortunately dies. It's a sad ordeal. She then eventually finds herself face to face with a Confederate soldier after she leaves, and the Confederate soldier goes to shoot her, and she wakes up in the during the Salem witch trials. And while she's there, she meets I can't remember the actor's name. He's a fine actor. He did the movie The Raven, which is also another August Aguilar film, which I absolutely love and adore that film as well. Him and I don't know if they ever clarify if it's his wife or his daughter. I'm guessing daughter because she's quite a bit younger. Because the gentleman I'm speaking of is completely white haired and white beard, older gentleman clearly, and she is a younger female. So they are spending their night talking about the Salem witch trials, and eventually she goes out and she wakes up in her next and final stop on her journey is at the beginning of time, essentially, in Adam and Eve, and she is no longer Cynthia, she has become Eve. And she finds Adam, who has eaten off of the bad apple, and he is basically looking for Eve, and they reconnect, and she has this really just beautiful dialogue about how things are much easier then. There's no plagues, there's no racism, there's no constant threat of nuclear war or war in general. There is none of the chaotic things that we live with in today's times or throughout history that she has to face in this current time she is living in. So it basically ends on the note of that. It is just absolutely just a really fun movie. I really like the story. I like the faith-based stuff behind it. I really dig Jim's style of filmmaking. I think is a talented filmmaker, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for us for future films. Now, on to the three things that I love my movies to meet. First is the audio. The audio is crisp, cool, and clean, as I like to say. There's never a moment where I misunderstand what a character is saying and had to rewind it back to replay. There is no weird audio glitches or bumps in the audio that make it distorted or out of place. And there is definitely no distortion or interruption or interferences with outside sources such as wind, a car driving by, or a pesky neighbor mowing his lawn. So they definitely were able to pull that off with flying colors, and I'm going to give that an A+. Now on to dialogue. Dialogue is very, very good in this. It has an interesting style. I like that it doesn't rely on any kind of silly humor or anything. It is straightforward, a serious movie from beginning to end. The dialogue is very serious. Granted, there is a couple of things said here and there that are a little funny, but it is mostly stuff that Troy says. But it is not a main leaning post to the film, so I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to give it a plus again on dialogue. Now on to editing, the final thing that I love my movies to meet a higher criteria. The editing is very good in this. It stays nice and smooth, keeps a steady steady pace. It never loses its momentum. Now going into each segment, it builds and builds and builds on each segment very well, and they're edited in together with themselves very, very almost seamlessly, it feels like. But but it's obviously different cuts of the film. But it's edited together so well that it just the scene to scene just flows without any kind of hang up or losing that pace. So I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to give it another A+. Now on to the final score of my 1 through 5. Is it going to get a 5? It's not quite a 5. It's a 4.5 out of 5 in my opinion. I think this is one that a number of my followers could watch and really enjoy. Granted, this is not a horror film. It is more drama than anything with horrific elements. But don't let that scare you away if you are only here for horror films. Alright guys, I'll be back at you with another review on Sunday. It'll be from David Espinoza. It'll be Demon Fighter or Demon Warrior. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I think it's Demon Fighter. But either way, I'll be back with that on Sunday. And I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, a fantastic weekend, fantastic 1st of March. And as always, I love your faces and peace.